So the Osmo Action 4 has been out for about 6 months now, and in today's video I want to share my long-term experience using this for the past 6 months. What are the pros and what are the cons, and is it still something I can recommend if you're brand new to action cameras? Now, one of the things I really like about the Action 4 is the simplicity of it and how easy it is to use. You barely need any accessories to get started, and if you decide to grab the Adventure combo, which includes 2 extra batteries, a charge case, and a selfie stick, you can just charge the batteries once you get it and you're ready for your next adventure. And at the time of making this video, the Action 4 Adventure combo does now have the same price as the GoPro Hero 12 standalone. So with the Action 4, you get a much more reliable camera with a total of 3 batteries, a charge case, and a selfie stick, all of that for only $400, which is a no-brainer if you ask me. And if you watched my previous video where I tested the Action 2, 3, and 4 with the whole wireless mic system 1, you could also see how versatile this Action 4 actually is compared to any other cameras when it comes to this functional USB Type-C port, but I will come to that later in this video. So after using the Action 4 for about 6 months now, or actually it has been longer because DJI was kind enough to send over an early unit for me to test the pre-release, so it's about 8 months of use, give or take. So I've been putting a lot of charges into these batteries, and when it comes to buying a new camera, there's one thing that I highly consider, which means a lot to me, and that is actually how the batteries are stored, which is, you know, crucial for how I travel. I don't want the batteries to just be laying around in my backpack. I want everything to be organized, and since we have this amazing charge case which follows the Action 3 or the Action 4, we can now store everything in the charge case here and keep everything organized, and it will also charge the batteries. And this also says a lot about the company, if you ask me. It's just quality, it's convenience, it's easy, and it just looks and feels more professional when you get a device. And this is the charge case and the storage device, I would say, you get for your batteries. But there's also another thing which is really important to me when I'm out traveling, and that is also how fast the batteries will charge. And of course, if I can charge multiple batteries at the same time. So that's a huge advantage for me when I'm out traveling, having the batteries charging super fast, because it means less downtime and I don't have to sit and wait for like a GoPro battery which takes 2 hours to charge to 200%, 100%. So as you can probably tell, battery reliability is really important to me. Otherwise, I have no interest in using the camera, nor will I be taking it with me on trips, because that's the main reason I get these action cameras. When I go out on my motorcycle, or if we travel to a different destination with the family and I want to document some, you know, activities or whatever I do with the family and the kids, especially when they are now growing up, getting bigger and bigger, I want to capture those memories. And I feel like an action camera is probably the best way for me personally to capture those moments, because it is waterproof, it can take a beating and all of that, and I just don't like the look coming from my iPhone. So action cameras for me, yes. But one of the things that separates DJI from any other brand on the market is the fast charging. So 0 to 80% in 18 minutes, or is it 16 minutes? 18 or 16 minutes, I get mixed up with all these fast charging capabilities of the DJI products. But anyway, as soon as, you know, someone catches up to the fast charging and get even close to what DJI offers, DJI just improves that in the next model, which is, you know, it's crazy how they managed to pull this off. But compared to a GoPro, for example, here we have the GoPro Hero 12. I'm not sure how long it takes actually to charge up to 100%, but I know for sure I'm not gonna sit there and watch it charging, because it is extremely slow and it takes forever. And you know, you will have to get so many batteries if you want to shoot throughout the day, or you will have to get a power bank which can constantly charge the batteries on the go. You know, GoPro really has something to learn from DJI, because DJI is killing it when it comes to charging batteries. It should be simple, it should be fast, and it should be fun. And I think you get all of those things with the DJI Action 4. Maybe not all the features that you want, or don't want, but we're gonna come to that in a sec. Now, as for battery life and reliability, overheating, and how this is to use in cold weather, I threw this out in minus 17 or 18 degrees Celsius, just sitting there and recording. You know, it recorded until the battery dies. So because of that, I'm gonna give the Action 4 batteries a 10 out of 10. When it comes to image quality, I still think the Action 4 is one of the cameras that has the best looking image. It might not have 5.3K or 8K like the GoPro and Ace Pro, but what makes it for me is the D-Log M 10-bit color profile. And with the latest firmware update, we now have 10-bit colors in the normal color profile as well, which is awesome. It's really nice to have 10-bit in the normal color profile. So regardless of profile you use now, you're still gonna have that 10-bit. GoPro was actually the first to introduce 10-bit to all color profiles and shooting modes with the GoPro Hero 12. So it's nice to see DJI updating this as well, allowing us to get the most out of the normal color profile. So even if you're brand new to action cameras, you can now get the full potential of 1 billion colors over the previous 16 million colors, which we had with 8-bit in the normal color profile. The only thing I feel we're missing with the Action 4 now is actually HDR video. So if the Action 4 had HDR video, I'm not sure how much I would use it, but if it had HDR video, I think this would probably be the most complete action camera if you ask me. Now, when it comes to low light videos, I still think these action cameras have a lot to work on when it comes to stabilization and image quality, including the Action 4. But for static shots or shots where you have little movement to the camera, I still think the Action 4 is on par with the Ace Pro. But for heavy use in low light, the Ace Pro is still the clear winner from my point of view. But hopefully we see the same sensor from the Pocket 3 in the next generation of Osmo Actions. But as of the overall image quality coming from the Action 4 and the way that I want and the way that I use it, I would give this a 9 out of 10. Now, when it comes to features, this is where I believe DJI is actually taking the lead, not because it's the camera with the least amount of features, but the fact that this feels like an open source camera. We still have the most common features like time-lapse, night-lapse, hyperlapse, slow motion, photos, videos, pre-record, and loop record, but the most underrated and overlooked feature of them all is the fact that you can connect any type of wireless microphone directly to the camera without needing to buy additional accessories like adapters or media modes. So with the Action 4, I can connect my DJI Mic 1 system directly into the USB-C port here, just like that, and I will have crystal clear audio. Or if I want to have a wireless Bluetooth connection, I can just connect the DJI Mic 2 directly to the Action 4 as well, and I will have the same high quality audio. Or if I want to use a third-party microphone like the Hannevig Mic 1, I can also just take the receiver here and just plug directly into the camera like that, and I will, you know, be able to use the two transmitters here for interviews if I want to do that, or if, since I'm a solo creator, if I lose one of the microphones, I still have one for backup. And this is a $100 mic setup, which is awesome. I already made a full video on that, which I will link down in the description below. I highly recommend that you check that out if you want to save some money on high quality plug and play audio. But we also have the good old DJI Mic 1 system, of course, and now we also have the DJI Mic 2 system. It's a little bit expensive, so if you want to save some bucks, $100 mic setup with the receiver and two transmitters, Hannevig, there is a link down there as well. So when it comes to these features, I do think the biggest advantage is that functional USB-C port. But it's not only with the Action 4 that this works, it also works with the Action 3 and the Action 2. So the whole ecosystem of having this functional USB-C port, I think that is the biggest advantage, along with, you know, the high quality 4K footage coming from this. And of course, D-Log M 10-bit. You can't forget D-Log M 10-bit. So if you're not into all these extra features like star lapse, schedule capture, light trail, and stuff like that, I do think the Action 4 is the best action camera you can get right now. And also, again, it's on sale, so $299 if you add the Hannevig mic as well. That means you have a complete wireless audio system with high quality plug and play audio, and you have what I consider one of the jokers when it comes to action cameras for the same price as you pay for the GoPro Hero 12 standalone. So as of features and usability, I would probably give the Action 4 a 10 out of 10 because I don't really use a lot of the features outside of normal video recording. Now let's talk a little bit about user experience. When it comes to user experience and the Action 4, I still think the Action 4 is on a whole different level compared to other brands. First, we have the seamless connection with any type of microphone you might desire, but it's not only that, we also have this screen. Can't really forget the screen and how responsive this is, and I've been swiping around on this in extreme temperatures, cold and warm, and to be honest, there's actually no differences in performance. It works as good in cold weather as warm weather and whatever is in between. However, at times it feels a little bit too responsive, especially when changing some of the settings like sharpness and noise levels. But since this is something I mainly do when I compare this to other cameras to set the different sharpness parameters to test that up against other cameras and stuff like that, I can't really put this as a con because it's something you go in and change and you're done with it. Maybe you change it again later, maybe not. If I was not to compare this up against all the cameras, I would never change the sharpness settings or the noise settings. So the noise level is set to 0 and the sharpness is set to -1, and that's the settings that I use for everything. And we also have the magnetic quick lock system here, which I was a huge fan of when it was first introduced with the Action 2. And this is actually the Action 2 bracket here, which is compatible with the Action 3 and the Action 4, but you cannot use the Action 3 and 4 brackets with your Action 2, so it's only forward compatible and not backwards compatible. And after 6 months of use, or 8 months, give or take, or actually longer than that, because this is the quick lock system for the Action 2, the connection still feels strong and secure. But if there was one thing I would like to see improved in the next model, it would probably be a built-in 1/4-inch mounting option like we see on the GoPro Hero 12. This would allow me to use other third-party mounting accessories like the quick lock system from Insta360, which I believe to this day is the best and fastest quick lock system available. But because of the clean look, ease of use, and the overall experience I had with the Action 4 over the past months, I would actually give the whole experience using the Action 4 10 out of 10. Now, before we dive into the topic of reliability, which you probably know where it's going, I also want to talk a little bit about accessories, which I think is essential to have with your Action 4 in order to get the job done. So whether you shoot time-lapse, hyperlapse, normal video, or take photos, you would need some accessories to make the job easier. But without diving too deep into the accessory list here, I just want to share the accessories that I use and why. So first up is ND filters. Why is this a must and why do I use this? So basically, ND filters are sunglasses for your camera. It helps reduce the shutter speed, which is needed to prevent the image from looking too sharp and contrasting. In optimal conditions, you would have the shutter speed at twice of your FPS. So if you're shooting videos in 60 FPS, you want to have your shutter speed at 1/20. Another accessory I feel is necessary is a good old selfie stick with a tripod. This gives me a solid, comfortable grip, as well as allowing me to put the camera down if I need to get an extra B-roll or I want to capture a time lapse. So this is mainly what I use when I'm out shooting videos with the Action 4. Now, when it comes to reliability, this is my #1 concern with all devices. If it's not working properly, there's no chance I'm going to use it. And like I've always said in my other videos as well as comparisons, I don't mind the low resolution as long as the camera is reliable. Of course, I want the DJI Action 5 with 8K resolution. Do I need it? No. Do I want it? Yes, it would be fun to test out, but the camera would also look like a brick because of the heat dissipation that would need to go into the camera in order to prevent it from overheating. So when I'm looking at reliability, I look at the battery and if the files get corrupted over time or when shooting in the cold or warm weather, and also the screen and menu navigation, and also how the screen behaves when going from above to below water, for example, and vice versa, because that's a huge part of what I do when I'm out traveling with these cameras. So I want it to be responsive, if not underwater, at least, you know, when I just rise above water, so I can change the settings and whatnot. And of course, overheating and how hot the camera gets after running for about 30+ minutes in different environments. And of course, the mounting system, how this looks, feels, and locks after a longer period of time. And if there's any tearing or, you know, flaws when it comes to the connection between the camera and the mount. So based on my long-term 6+ months experience using using the Action 4 now, this just ticks all boxes. No matter how deep or where I look, I just can't seem to find any flaws. It's just a perfect camera in my opinion. So there's not really that many cons when it comes to the Action 4, only things I would love to see improved in the next generation, so the Action 5, which would be mainly a 1-inch sensor. But as of cons, I'm having a hard time to find some cons with this. But in general, each camera has some drawbacks and cons. We'll always have something we don't like with these action cameras and something we love. I'm having a really hard time trying to find some con, and I think that says a lot about this camera and DJI as a brand and how they make, you know, high quality products. Of course, there is that low light feature, which I'm not a huge fan of, so we can put that as a con. Thankfully, I'm not using this action camera that much in low light anyway, so I don't really mind. So that goes back to, you know, this feature not being that huge of a con for me. But if you are shooting a lot of videos in low light, this might be a con for you. So there's not really much to say about the Action 4. This is a beast of a camera, and again, it's on sale, $299 for this standalone and $399 for the adventure combo. If I should recommend buying a camera now, it would be the adventure combo, Action 4, and you know, grab a wireless microphone of your choice. Hohem wireless mic 1, you know, DJI mic 2, or the DJI mic 1, which is, I believe, $249 as well, which is a killer price for the combo that you get. So there you have my honest long-term review of the Action 4. Links to everything like accessories will be linked down below, so make sure to check those out as well. And you can also find my Signature LUTs down if you want to spice up your D-Log M footage, or normal footage for that matter, with your Action 4 or your DJI Mini 3 Pro, Mini 4 Pro, or the Pocket 3. There you can also find an in-depth installation guide, and you can also test the LUTs for yourself and see how they work. So make sure to check those out. And with that said, that's everything I had for you today, and really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next one. Also that like button for the algorithm. And until next time, take care, and I'll catch you soon.